Hello and welcome to the Decorate Your House channel one more day. Today I am again at my mother's house as we are going to do the express renovation of painting all the doors of her house. We are going to lacquer them in white, but to do it we are going to use the combing technique. This is the current state of the doors. The truth is that the color is not bad at all, however the hallway is a bit narrow and it needs visual breadth. So with the white color, I think everything is going to look much brighter and more spacious. We start by placing the protection on the floor and some kind of easel or pallet to place the doors. We remove the hinges and start placing the doors in the work area. We are going to choose to remove the doors and lay them flat because it is ideal for painting them. However, there would be the possibility of painting the doors in place as long as we covered the floor. But it is true that a drop could mark or some light could be seen. That's why laying them flat is better. Watch out, what a scare. Once we have everything, we remove the handles and place them in bags with the name of the area, so it's easier for us to locate them later. To paint our doors, we can do it with one of these two rollers. It will always look better with this orange one than with this white one. But if we find the painting a bit difficult or we are afraid of it dripping, we can do it with this super fine one, but I tell you that it will look better with this orange one. Before painting the doors, it's important to have washed the roller very well. It's better if we do it a day before and let it dry completely. What we're going to do now with this tape is cover everything that shouldn't get stained, like for example the glass or some little details. We're going to sand the door with this electric sander, but in the corners we're going to do it with a manual one. And while I was sanding with the electric sander, my mother was doing it manually. The most difficult areas to reach, it's very important not to leave any area unsanded. And finally, we clean them with a damp cloth in vinegar. This last vinegar step is very important, as vinegar is a powerful degreaser. Now I'm going to show you how to apply it with a roller, so that it looks like a lacquered effect and it looks very good. We stir the paint and we are going to dilute it with solvent. The proportion would be for 4 liters of paint. We put a little less than half a liter of solvent. We place it in a separate container and mix it well. Very well guys, we have them placed, we have already sanded them and we have also cleaned them with vinegar. Now what we are going to do is proceed to paint with the roller that I have shown you before. And how are we going to do it? Well, very simple. We are going to paint with the paint up to the middle of the door, and then we are going to apply the combing technique, which is simply to take the roller and go giving it without paint, splicing one run with the other. But let's better see it. Okay, so we are going to paint this door, and what we are going to do is what I was telling you. Here we have the mixture ready already. And we are going to paint up to the half. The truth is that this paint stretches a lot. With very little we can cover a lot. As you can see, we've already painted around half of the door. So now with the roller, what we are going to do is act as if we were combing it. We are going to make like strokes, joining them one with another. In the same direction and without paint. Now I'll show you closer so you can see it. And what if you notice doing this? The hairstyle looks very good when finished. You can't see the strokes at all and it leaves a lacquered effect. Beautiful. When it's dry, we'll see it even more, but well, you can already appreciate it a little bit. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with the other half. And once we have it, well, simply as we did before, we take and start to comb the door. overlapping one pass with another. Being the first layer, don't worry if it's not perfect, because with the second one, it will look very, very good. We already have this with the first hand, and now we go for the second. Very well, let's paint the third one now, which may seem a little more complicated, but it really isn't difficult at all. I take this opportunity to tell you that we are going to renovate this garage where we are painting right now. We're doing a quick renovation with super interesting things like painting the floor and walls and organizing. It's going to be a spectacular change. So, if you follow us, I recommend that you keep following us so you don't miss this change and all the pending quick renovations. With that said, we continue? And now what we're going to do is the same thing we've been doing so far. Start combing it. We're going to start from the top. Remember, it's without paint. We don't have to put paint on it. And then we start spreading. What do you think? How are the doors turning out?
Remarkably beautiful. They turned out much smoother and finer than expected. And a beautiful tone. It's excellent. With the roller, you can't see any brush strokes at all. And what do you think?
What? And what would you say to the followers about how your room turned out? Bar, office?
The outcome has been spectacular, far exceeding my expectations. Because when we started and we were working, I said, oh, so much work and it's going to be a mess. But it didn't turn out that way. Beautiful, very nice, very well. So now we continue. Do you want to give me a hand with painting? I prefer to watch so I can talk and tell you if the liquid or the paint is dripping, but it's not dripping. It looks beautiful.
Well, we continue. And while I was painting this door, in the end, my grandmother got encouraged to paint and she is giving me a hand. Look at this skillful painting. Now you should go over it with the roller without paint, combing it in the same direction like that. Exactly. You lift the roller. Exactly. She had just finished painting, and meanwhile, I was preparing the paint with the solvent. What do you think, Yaya? Is it difficult or what?
It's not very easy. You just need a little agility with your hand, not to fall asleep with your arm going, but well, it's okay. As you see it turning out nicely, it encourages you even more. See, I've helped him make this one. Now I'm going to help him with the other one. What you're telling me to add more mixture? I've already finished.
Here goes more mixture. And finally, we finished the last two doors we had left. We took the opportunity to paint these coat racks, which with this toasted color looked a bit old. We can use the same paint to paint all kinds of things, like furniture, kitchen doors, tables, or whatever we need. While we let the doors and the coat rack dry, my brother prepared this delicious black rice for us. After waiting about 4 or 5 hours, we continued giving the doors a second coat. We have to follow the same process that we have explained so far. We paint it halfway and then comb it with overlapping passes, without paint. It seemed very late at night, but it was really only 6:30 in the evening. Painting the 7 doors didn't take us more than an hour. We started the second day by removing the remaining hinges and sanding all the frames to proceed with painting them. I take this opportunity to recommend you to watch the express transformation of this entry that we did a few weeks ago. We protect the floor of all the doors and start painting. in the afternoon while we let the frames dry. We turned the doors over and painted the first layer on the other side with the same steps. Paint halfway and comb the door. If you notice here, right next to the frame, we have some gaps that are visible and we are going to cover them with acrylic putty. We are also going to cover these here so that this is not visible and so it stays. Well, like this one, which is perfectly covered and nothing is noticeable. On the third and final day, I started very early to give the frames a second coat. The truth is that with one, they had already looked very good, but it is always better to give two. Once the frames are finished, we continue with the second and final coat of paint on the doors. Since it's not too hot, the paint takes a little longer to dry, and that's why it took us 3 days to paint them. If we had done it in the summer, we would have had it done in a couple of days. We continue painting the handles as they were a bit worn out, so we are going to cover them with black spray. First of all, we sand them and clean them with vinegar, and then we can proceed to paint. We have painted it with this paint and then we added a finishing varnish. But if you want us to explain in more detail how to paint handles, leave it in the comments and we will make a specific video for it. Then we put the hinges on, and when the doors had completely dried, we started to put them on as well. We removed some paper or tape from the doors. Finally, we put the handles on. And well guys, we now have all the doors, we put all the handles on. And this would be the final result. And this would be the before and after. The truth is that we are very happy with the result. We have achieved more light and space. I hope you like it. See you very soon. Until next time. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our social networks so you don't miss the day-to-day of all our transformations.